Peekaboo. Ah, so heavy.
Well, that's some gold wheels though. That was a dunner. Sure.
Hi.
No way.
Ja, 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 ja.
Just take that son of a... So we're doing good.
Hey there, you chubbies! This week we're gonna be working on my little Civic. And we're gonna do something pretty interesting.
We're gonna take this car from being a 4-lug car to a 5-lug car.
It's really simple. This generation Civic, I believe, starts in 2002, which is this one. Yep, this one's a 2002. And then I think they run to like 05 or 6. But the weird thing is in 2004, they made them 5-lug. Yeah, so 2002s and 2003s, they all got 4 lugs.
And while 4-lugs don't have very good wheel options.
Yep. So when I bought this car, it came with another car that was rusty and crusty. It was bad, is what I'm saying. But it had some sweet wheels on them. I was like, yeah, I dig those. But they don't fit on my car. So I did some looking. I did some taking apart. Well, mostly I did the taking apart because I had to do the clutch last weekend. Yep. And well, because the throwout bearing was unhappy. I'll show you that later.
But anyway, as I'm doing the clutch, I realized, man, it's gonna be really easy turning this car into 5-lugger. So here is the 5-lug one that I took off the other car. Here's the 4-lug one that I took off of this car. This is the passenger side. This is the driver's side. But the same thing here. You could literally see the 4-lugs versus the 5-lugs. And in this instance, I took the struts because on the passenger side, man, well, this one's a goner. You know, ouch, the springs, yeah. So I said, screw it, I'll use the parts I got on the other car because these ones are decent. And, well, I'm a little tight on money, so if I could use used parts for a little bit, get me down the road, that's fine. So, I took the whole thing, even the control arm, because the bushings in the control arm were better than this car. Because look at that sucker, it is not happy. So I swapped it out. I did the passenger side already, and I saved you guys some information on the driver's side, is what I'm saying.
So you could choose to do it like me and get a parts car and use from the struts to the control arm and bolt it right in really easy like. Or you could just go buy the 2004 or 5 knuckle, you know, or wheel bearing. But, you know, to me, it's just easier because the ball joint usually comes with it. So if you just buy this whole piece, comes wheel bearing, the only thing you have to do is add your rotor. So if you just get this one little piece, you can take this car with the wheel bearing, the ball joint, all them goodies, and slap it in your car. You got better wheel options, super easy like. So there's a whole lot of bit of information if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you're clicked on this video. There it is, that's what it is. Here's some more information on the clutch. I told you I'll show you. Here it is. This is the throttle bearing that was not happy. You can hear it. Yeah. And then when I took this out, you know, I'm like, if I'm going that deep, I'm doing the clutch again. There's no way. And holy cow, look at this thing. First of all, look at the heat. All right, not very good. Second of all, look at this. Man, this was like jamming against the flywheel. Holy cow, look at all them uglies. And sometimes when you come out, you know, if you were to, it was kind of, if you released the clutch before you had the e-brake set and the car would move a little bit, it would bind. But if you had the e-brake set and then you let off the brakes and then drop the clutch, it would start up fine. But when it wouldn't start up, this is what was happening, is I'm pretty sure this little chunk here was like, you know, catching here on one of these holes and saying, no, we're not frickin' spinning. No way. I could be way wrong. What I'm saying is it was binding shit. It was, yeah. So I would have to get out the car in gear first, and I'd just rock the car back and forth. I'd get back in, and sometimes not, it would fire right up. And then I would rinse and repeat if it didn't fire up. But eventually it would fire up. So hopefully I solved that problem. I solved the throwout bearing problem. Holy cow, the transmission, well, it's back in there. Yep, had to drop the whole subframe. That was not fun. So, that's been the adventure. There's your information. Let's get to work. We gotta take this sucker apart. First, I gotta get this link off because, well, I cut the other one because I couldn't get it the other side because I couldn't get it unbolted. It was spinning, I got mad. We gotta drop our strut. Pretty simple now that we got most of the stuff out of our way. It's just these 3 nuts. And then I'm gonna slap this whole section in the car in one piece. Control arm, rotor, strut, it's all going in once. Yep, you heard me right. I did the passenger side that way. It kicked my ass a little bit, but I took it and I still won. So I'm doing it again on this side. Okay, so let's get stuff taken apart. 3 bolts came out way too easy. That's good though. Oh yeah, gotta get our brake out of the way. Oh man, come out. All right, set you over there for a minute. Ah, so heavy. Man, kind of bummed about getting rid of those because those are 3-inch lowering struts. I'm kind of sad about it. Oh well. We'll go back to stock style, I guess. Some's better than none. We'll have some gold wheels though. Pop this sucker up here. So I learned from yesterday is this arrow's got to be pointing out. Oh, correct. Sure. All right. Oh, hold on. All right. Yeah, let's try going up. More? We're about 3 inches. Oh, there, go for it. There, boy, we're up there. We're getting touching. See what? Oh, that didn't help. Down a little. More.
The other one.
Nice. Okay, you got a hold on it at least. Get all those stuff. Little violence.
That was easy. Well, that popped in there like it was nothing. And well, here we are. So now we just gotta aim these control arm bolts, which are, they're not bad. You know, this control arm don't look the best, but it's definitely better than the one we pulled out. Look at this guy. Yep, that was a dunner. So sure, just get me by till summer. All right, sure. So kind of just lifted up the back end, and that one kind of slips in a little easier, so I try to aim for that one first. Got the bolt lined up. So now I'm going to take this jack, I'm going to lift up on the ball joint here to get this one a little more straight, and kind of, you got to beat it in there a little bit. Not too aggressive, but you got to give it some love taps for sure. So as we come up, oh, see, we're already too far in. All right, see how that's all twisted up in there now? Dang, it's all right, we'll figure it out. Nothing like a big screwdriver can't fix. See that? And then we'll love tap that in. Don't be aggressive, just get it in there. It definitely likes the top better. Alright, oh! Hi! Peekaboo! We're right there. It's a little more. Where'd that hammer go? Ow! Ow! Oh, it's there. What? No way. Ow. That part stunk. Okay. So I don't think the top's lined up. One more love tap. It fell right in, bolted in. I left it loose because, you know, we gotta tighten them at right height. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of lift this till it lifts up off that jack, because then I know it's gonna be at right height because the weight's supporting it, right? See it move? All right, we're at right height. I take my big old ratchet here. Hold on. And loosen that back up. What we're gonna do is give it some love taps. Make sure it's settled where it wants to be. Then we'll tighten it. Now I know some of you guys are freaking out because I didn't put the axles in. Well, look, here. Do you see this axle? It's not really in shape of putting it back in. And you know I put the cart in front of the horse and didn't buy the parts I needed first. Well, mostly because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't other stuff that I needed to buy. And while along that, I need sway bar links. I haven't even looked at the back yet. So I don't even know how to tell you guys to do the back yet. But I'll get there, I'll tell you. Nicest part though is the 5 lug wheel bearings have the same spline as the 4 lug wheel bearings. And so, whoop, whoop, whoop. That'll work. Nice. That's another worry off my chest. A little late to be checking that, right? And I'm doing it this way because I need to get the wheels on the front so I can use the jack stands to lift up the back and see what's happening in the back. So yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to take this back apart to put the axles in, but honestly it's not too hard. It's these 2 bolts, and then that will just bloop from the strut and give me plenty enough room to sneak the axle in there. So I'm not too stressing, okay? Not too hard is what I'm saying. The cool part, check out these slotted rotors. Nice. Bunch of little upgrades that car had. Another part going right on. Same caliper. So you don't have to buy new calipers or nothing. Even these are the brackets off the 04, and they bolt right in to the brackets from the 02 because they're still on there. Man, this is like one of the coolest, easiest swaps ever that you could do to an EP3 Civi, if you got the earlier years anyway. Almost wrapped up. Got a brake line to connect. Well, really put the bolt in, and then the steering. But you know, that stuff really don't matter until I get the axle in. So let's put the wheel on, drop it on the ground, see what it looks like, and then lift up the back, see what's happening back there. Woo! On the ground it looks good. Just wish I could keep it low. Maybe I'll put the little ground skirt from the other car on there, make it look lower. But for now, this is all right. Them wheels is worth every bit of it to me. But I've never really put wheels on a car that's I plan on keeping. I like it. Did the little flipperoni, she's in the air. Quick gander. It looks pretty similar. So I think we could just drop upper control arm right off of there. And probably again, the knuckle. And you'd be all right. But this one's more for aligning and stuff, which I'm gonna need alignment anyway. But I think I'm just gonna take the whole control arm because again, I think this one might be in worse shape. I'll base that upon looking on the other car. But for now, my idea is all the rubber on this car is bad. So if I could replace any of it and get me by, we're probably gonna do so. Definitely we'll have to replace the strut because that's a lowering strut and I'm not going to be driving around like California or South Carolina. No squatting here. Another thing I want to do is swap out the taillights. 2002, 2003 years, 2004, 5 years. So I like these ones better. That's what I'd rather run. So I'm gonna see if I can swap those out too. New wonderful day here. Mikey has not been doing any filming because I lost my camera. I don't know what I did with it. Well, that's a lie. Now I know what I did with it because I found it and I'm talking to you. I searched my house, I searched the shop, I searched Grandpa's house. All and come back and it was sitting on the driver's seat of the Civic. Right here, the whole time. An idiot. It happens sometimes. So, I could give you a little bit of a rundown on the back now, because I know what you really need to do if you want to just 5-lug swap the back. And it's just like I thought in the front. You could just change that one knuckle, but the only difference is one of the bolts on that knuckle is for your, alignment. So you'd have to get a new alignment. So instead of doing that, I already had a car that was roughly aligned. I took the whole control arm. And I took the struts because, well, the struts, I need a matching set. So I took the whole control arm. They're a little uglier. The bushings are a little uglier, but, for the ease of the job for now, I said, let's just do it. So now I'm at the point of here's the strut, the knuckle, the lower control arm. We're just gonna stuff it back in. And you gotta remember, don't forget to take your caliper off first. All the way. You don't have to really unhook it, but get your e-brake undone. And remember the routing of which way they are, because it will mess you up. The brake line will go in front of this, all right? But then the e-brake will go in between the rotor and the control arm. So you have to take it apart to be able to get the thing off if you did it my way, because it kind of messed you up, okay? So here we are. Let's put this stuff in. I aimed the strut through the hole first. Just lifted it with the jack, real easy like. Now if you come in this dark hole, you just got 2 nuts. 2 nuts. You just have to get them put on. Super easy like. Bam! Look at that, we got this side popped together like it was nothing. The wheel's on there, looks great. Can't wait to drive it. We're on this side, kind of where I left you guys off last. So here we are. This is my process of doing this. Down here, this bolt first. Get it in there first. That's what I'm saying. Once you get this one in, just give her some threads. Not all of them. Oh, see how it's gone in? Sure. Now you come up to these front 2. Gotta get your mess out today. You gotta get these front 2 in. Too far. Too far. Sure. Can you lift that jack up? Then I send those ones home. I send them home, all right? And then I lift this one up to reach the front here. Gotta get your brake out the way. Actually, your brake line goes in between those. So you put those back behind there. Lift this sucker to about where it should be. Put your bolt in there. And then lift it up to where you lose, the weight off the jack stand so you know you're at ride height. See? Once you got a little gap, then you can tighten the top one all the way. Then you can come back to the very first one that you started with, tighten that one all the way. Yep. And that impact gives it a little bit too much poundage, so yep. They're tight. Then once you have all those, now you can focus on your e-brake that runs in between here. And then your brake line. Oh, and one thing I learned on the other side is this ABS from 2005, they have a smaller hole in their hubs. So I'm gonna have to swap these out for newer year ABSs. Cause they just don't go in. They don't. You know, it's like the ABS is just bigger. You know? Yeah. Screw it. So what I'm gonna do for now is just zip tie it up here out of the way. Buy some new ones. And then, you know, definitely before winter. But here we are. I want to drive it today, so this is what I'm doing. Once I get the caliper with my new pads on there, we're set. We can put the wheel back on. I actually got to test another wheel and then put these wheels on. Drop it down and put the axles in the front and I can drive it. Now once you get everything wrapped up, again, here's what you should be looking at. Right back with what you started, minus you got 5 lugs. I double checked, triple checked everything. I got a new sway bar link in there because I had to cut the old ones. Got my thing zip tied up. I'll use the white ones because, yep, it's supposed to be temporary. Sure. My e-brake stuff's tight. Let's throw this last wheel on, get it on the ground, check her out. Oh, here's another thing I did. The taillight upgrade, dang. Old school, new school, super easy. All I did was really take the wires out of the pins and then put the pins from those in the connectors and everything started working. It's actually really easy to swap these newer style lights on there, man. They just right in there. All right, let's talk about these tail lights. So get in them. You got a bolt here. You got a screw slash bolt, and then you got a screw here. That comes down. Then you got the 2 nuts down here, which you're gonna need this bracket to swap to your other lights, unless you got them from a junkyard, already have them. Then you got 1, 2, and 3 little, you know, studs coming through. So you got to take out your electricals, which I probably should have did before I disconnected everything. And what you got to do is the bottom one works. It'll cross over. But the middle one and the top one are the 2 plugs you got to change. The tail light's out. So this plug, this is the top one. And I don't know if you can see in there, but there's 2 little things holding them metal pins in there. And you pry those up and those suckers come out. And you pluck those out one by one. And you push them in these one by one, which this will be the top one. And then the little one, that'll be a reverse light, so that'll go in the middle. Don't get confused, because in the top one they use this style clip on the old style, so don't put the turn signal bulb on the reverse light, because then it won't get plugged in. It's weird, you gotta swap pretty much the plugs, kinda, you know, because these plugs are still different than the plugs that are on the other car. So here's our new clip. And this is our old clip. I already popped the pins out like I explained to you to do. So remember, I kind of left these similar. I just put the black in one side, in the same side-ish, plugged it in there. Now I can get this one out. And I think I actually just put the wrong clip in the wrong button. Just like I told you not to do. Sure did. Sure did. This one's supposed to go on top. The big one. I gotta pop this sucker back out. So now, once you got this little size clip in there, you can plug in your new light. And now you can take apart this one, which you do the same exact thing you just did with that one. Got the back side wrapped up, looks really good. came back up to the front because, well, I needed to put the axles in here. And I realized a little small detail is these ABS sensors on the front also have a different electrical clip. So what I'm gonna do here is repin this clip into this style clip from the old setup, just like we did the tail lights. I'm just gonna swap around some pins into the other connector and it'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's another little detail you don't want to miss out on if you're trying to do the swap, is expect to do just a small amount of electrical swap-a-roonies. But I got the axle in. The only thing left to do is I want to get a new tie rod in. And bam, this side's wrapped up. Now I got to come to this side, get that axle extension thing. I don't even know what it is, but put that back in this side. Bolt it up with a couple of them bolts. Bolt up the sway bar, go get some sway bar links and tie rod ends and some gear oil, and this sucker's on the road. Like, that was a weekend, man. We got wheels, we got tail lights. Well, the clutch was last weekend, but we finished up the last little bit of details on the clutch. Here we are. The only thing left that I'd like to get done is the seat, and I got this pretty big wing I'm thinking about putting on there. It comes out to like this far. Pretty much as far as the car is. I don't know. I'm digging it. We'll see how it comes out. It's been a week and we got the car mostly wrapped up. Took it on a test drive and we have a little bit of an issue. But here is how it's looking. Looks really dang good. Heck yeah. But slight problem. We got some rubbish in the front, right here on this edge, and then the front of that plastic. Dang it. So, I don't like that. Then you come back here. If you see on the tire, we got slight rubbish. You know, this one, similar, you know, same. It's rubbing. Yep. That side's doing the same. So there's nothing better to fix it other than a baseball bat, right? Yeah. Yeah. Just take that son of a... Wait, no, that's not how you use this thing. I think you gotta shove it in there. What I'm saying is, that's what we did on this side. I'll show you the other side. But this is our outcome. It's kind of neatly rolled. Kind of mostly all the way around. Well, you can't really tell, but while we were looking, we kind of made the side a little fatter. You could kind of tell if you look closer, because it's a little more fat in this section, and it dives real far back in right here where the bumper meets, because I didn't want to do that much stretching of metal and possibly break a tail light or make some ugly body damage. So I was trying to be nice, but it still looks fine. We rolled it pretty nice. This is more like what we started with, and if you're looking at it, you kind of see this edge kind of like rolls downward. I don't know if Honda did that on purpose, you know. So, yeah. Now we're gonna shove the baseball bat in this side, kind of roll it, release the jack, put some weight on it, and do it a couple times. It'll be similar to the other side. We'll test drive it again, see if the back's rubbing. But I'm gonna have to work something out for the front. And I'm kinda thinking about like 3/4, maybe a 1-inch lift kit. This car was lowered. Now we're gonna go above stock. I might like it. So this is how I started it, with most of the weight up, kind of in the back corner, and rolled her toward the front. I used my knee as the pressure regulator, we'll call it. You know, I used it as how much I needed it to flex. And then I used both my hands to roll it, like so. But it takes both hands because it's not easy to do, especially when there's a dent. All right. Oh, you just hear that paint wrinkle. And that's how you know you're doing a good job. Oh, come on. Roll. All right. I think we need to come down a little bit. Do her again. Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Whew. Well, did that about 25 more times. And it looks looking all right. You know, we're not all wavy, minus the dent that was there prior. But if you look at it, that dent about pushed out further than it was stock, which is kind of what we did to that side. Minus, you know, it didn't pop out all the way, you know, which we can figure that out when we decide to paint this sucker. But for now, we need to make the wheels fit. And it feels all right. Again, if you look in there, we got a pretty hefty roll back. So, you know, you can see right here that it's from there to there. And this, you know, tapers back in to meet that. So up here, we're pretty good. Next thing to do is just get this sucker for a testy drive. Fronts are still gonna rub. Can't really stop that until we lift it. But I'm digging it. I like that the wheels stuff in the holes, so I don't want to go too high. Just a little bit. And I don't want to downsize the tire. So I'm thinking go up a little bit, upsize the tire a little bit, and it should be golden. Quick little test cruise went great. I'm pretty pleased. The front still rubs, unfortunately, but there's not much I can really do with that, minus take the plastic inner wells out. No, I'm not doing that. Or let it rub till it clearances itself, and I'd rather not have holes in the plastic letting all the water if I don't have to. So I think maybe just a lift kit, just a little guy. It looks good. The back doesn't rub. The more important part, it popped my tire. It won't pop my tire anymore. So we're doing good. Where I'm going though is I'm about wrapping this project up for now. So that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed me 5-lug swapping, give me a comment, like, subscribe to the channel, watch another video. Thank you for watching this one. Woo!